And now we're here in the kitchen with Chef Joshua. We're going to cook with asparagus. What are we going to make first?
Well, we are going to do a extremely simple preparation here. Simple for me is the name of the game. I like to really just highlight the ingredient and let that kind of speak for itself. So we're just going to do shaved asparagus, mizuna. I've made a honey Dijon mustard vinaigrette here, and I've charred off some almonds here. So we're just going to crush those up in the mortar and pestle, get those all in a bowl, toss them up, shave a little parm into it. Boom, and that's what we're gonna do.
Does it have a name?
I like to just name things what they are. So I would call it a mizuna and shaved asparagus salad is what we're gonna go with here. If that's
all right.
cool.
Well, let's get started.
Okay. So first things first, main ingredient, asparagus. So this is simple. We're just gonna kind of cut off the outer edge here just to make sure we're into the nice tender portion of the spear. Just get rid of these guys. Now, I always like to preserve the tops because they're so beautiful. So we're just gonna kind of cut those off. Maybe just kind of go where you start to see this little section start to disappear. I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Start to shave these guys.
All right. Your mandolin.
Yep. I love raw asparagus.
I love raw asparagus too.
To me, one of the worst and most offensive things you can do for asparagus is to overcook it. And
asparagus mush is not nearly as delicious.
Not at all. It's actually quite unappealing.
Well, I think that's just one of the wonderful flavors of spring is when you pick your own asparagus out of the garden and eat it while you're harvesting.
Absolutely. I mean, after, the Midwest winters, like that first sign of spring coming up and being able to eat something from the garden is fantastic. All right, so that's gonna be plenty for what we're about to do here. So let's set that aside. And we don't need this now. Now these guys, I'm just gonna half them there. That one doesn't even need to be halved, it's so thin. Let's crush some almonds, shall we?
Right. And these have been toasted, but that's maybe not quite extreme enough. They're a little dark, so almost charred.
I would call them charred almonds.
All right.
Yep. I shy away from that term just because it kind of freaks people out, but I really like them really dark. I like to get that kind of ashy note in them. I think the bitterness of it, especially if you're using something like a honey vinaigrette with the sweetness, really kind of balance each other out. So these started off as raw almonds. I always buy organic raw, and then I just toast them to the density that I want to, or the degree that I want to, and salt them as well.
So toast to taste.
Toast to taste for sure. I think that's probably going to be plenty for the application we're going for here.
All right, time to start bringing stuff together?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so a little mizuna here, which is an Asian green, fairly similar to arugula. You don't see it a lot in supermarkets. I happen to love it. It's going to be a little bit less black peppery and spicy than arugula is, a little bit more milder, but absolutely delicious. And if you plant it, you can plant it outside when it's still fairly cold out. So conceivably this whole thing will work together if you're doing it in the garden.
Okay,
so
perfect.
That's another element of it here. So I'd say let's do like a 50-50 mix here and check this guy out, see how we're feeling about it. So let's do that. Gonna slam these almonds in here. Gonna shave in a little aged Parmesan cheese here. Because what's not better with some cheese in it, About that. A little Malden sea salt, like a little flaky salt. We might have to adjust that just a little bit after we're done making it. So this is a super simple vinaigrette to make at home. It's just Dijon mustard. I use a little bit of whole grain mustard, olive oil, honey, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and lemon juice, salt and pepper. That's it.
All right.
And Yeah, it's fantastic.
Simple
It's
and
a
delicious.
staple at the restaurant for sure. I'm gonna crack just a little bit of pepper into this guy. And then we're gonna toss this up and see how it looks. I love the smell of the almonds.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'm gonna do here is just add a little element of crunchy, delightful salt on the outside there.
Wonderful.
And that's it.
All right, let's give it a try.
All right.
Get a little of everything.
Check it out, see what you think.
All right. The vinaigrette is so tangy. And it really works with the milder flavor of both the asparagus and the Mizuna. That's really terrific. And you're right about those dark almonds. That lends it just a little something extra that's so delicious.
I think if they weren't in there, you'd think there was just like a little element missing, and that just little bit of char just kind of dances with everything else and really works together.
Right, well, it is just wonderful.
Cool, I'm glad
Thank
you like
so
it.
much.
Yeah, of course.
So you made a beautiful salad with raw asparagus. Now we're going to bring some heat into the equation. We're going to do some grilled asparagus, right?
Some major heat, yeah. So this is a dish that I would normally do outside on a grill. I prefer charcoal, but gas would work too. So when you bring this bad boy inside, really the only way to get that kind of color on the asparagus while maintaining it being crisp, as we talked about earlier on the interior, is high heat. We're looking for color on the outside, crisp on the inside. None of that kind of chewy and stringy.
All right, so we're
texture.
working on rocket hot over here.
Yes,
and
we
what
are.
are we working on over here?
Just finishing up chopping some parsley here. We got dill going on here.
Nice.
And then asparagus, pecorino cheese, olive oil, lemon juice, malt and salt. This is simplicity at its best right
All right,
here. So
fantastic.
This is really a
Well,
dish.
I'm sensing a trend here with you and asparagus. It seems like you just really want to make that flavor the star.
I do, yeah. I think it's so delicious. I think it's fantastic all by its own. It's good just munching while you're picking it, as you mentioned earlier. So yeah, I don't want to mess with it too much.
So what do we do? Let's get started.
Okay, let's do this. So again, inch and a half. These spears all come right from the garden. Bowl, asparagus, and we're just gonna hit it with some olive oil. I never skimp on the quality of olive oil. I use it a ton in my cooking, and so always Italian extra virgin. We're gonna go with some sea salt. Asparagus can soak up the salt, so you can be pretty liberal with it. Cracked pepper. And we're just gonna kind of toss this. We want it coated in oil, but we don't want it to the point where when we put it on there, it's just gonna be dripping all over the place.
Right.
Or if you're grilling outside, it's gonna flame up, when you throw it on there.
That's a bad idea.
Yep, so coated, but not dripping. Good amount of salt, you can feel it on your hands, and we're just gonna plop this
Okay.
right over here. That's what you wanna hear, is that sizzle. That's gonna tell you got some heat going on. A lot of people's natural inclination is gonna be to constantly move them around. I like charring them hard on one side, rolling them over, and letting it go again, and pulling them off. Let's check these guys out.
All right, they got a little bit of color.
Yep.
You'd get them darker probably on a grill.
On a grill, get it raging hot, let it
Right.
flame up. Yes, you're gonna get them a little bit
but
darker.
there's some beautiful color
Yeah,
there. That's
yep.
great. And then we'll just let them go another couple of minutes on the other side.
Yep.
All right, you think they're done?
I think they are looking
Oh, they
beautiful.
look
We got color
fantastic.
on both sides.
All right.
Let's get a plate out here. And we're just gonna nestle those right in there.
And I gotta believe they're delicious as is, but what do you do to dress them up a little
They
bit?
are, you know what, it's funny, I do snack on these after I cook them sometimes and have a few of them before I do anything. So we're just gonna shave a little pecorino cheese on it, which is an aged sheep's milk cheese. Kind of similar stylistically to Parmesan, a little bit saltier and tangier, in my opinion. So we're gonna kind of just get those laid on there right away so the heat will melt those in as
Nice.
we do the rest of our work here.
You are not shy about cheese.
I'm not. And you know, I don't use, as you said, I'm not shy. I don't use a ton. I don't use it in a lot of dishes, but when I find a dish that it really works in, I'm definitely not shy with it for sure.
All right.
So let's go with some parsley over it. I also love herbs, as I said earlier, and a nice healthy dose of dill here. I mean, this just looks great when it's, you know, if you're grilling outside on the picnic table, boom.
Oh, so green, so fresh.
Yeah. Healthy dose of fruity olive oil on there. Get a little glisten. A little lemon juice for some tang and acidity. And, as with almost everything I do, a little Malden flaky salt.
Wonderful. And you could probably do a lot of different things with this.
Yeah,
There.
one easy option at home is to make either a soft boiled egg or even a poached egg and just plop it on top, smack it with a spoon, crack the yolk open, and let it run all over it.
Yum.
Fantastic
That
as
would
well.
be delicious.
So,
Okay, I'm dying to try this. And
let's
this, you
taste it.
consider this finger food, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're outside, drinking a beer, on your lawn. Burgers are on the grill. You're starting off with this.
Oh, wow. It is so good. That grilled flavor just really highlights the asparagus flavor, and the lemon juice is so good.
I'm a big lemon juice guy. I use lemon on a lot.
Makes it so
Use a lot of
bright.
vinegar. Yeah, pop.
And with the dill, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This tastes like summer.
Totally, 100%.
Chef Joshua, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This has been amazing. I really, really appreciate it.